Hello, fashion enthusiasts. Get ready for a dazzling trip through time. We're diving into the captivating history of fashion, decade by decade. From the Roaring Twenties to the 2010s, we'll uncover iconic looks that still inspire us today. Fasten your seatbelts. We're traveling through time to explore the trends that defined generations. Each decade tells a story. We'll see how fashion evolved, reflecting cultural shifts and social movements. Get ready to be amazed by flapper dresses, power suits, and everything in between. We'll see how fashion went from glamorous gowns to grunge and beyond. You'll learn how these trends continue to influence what we wear today. So, whether you're a history buff or a fashionista, this journey is for you. Let's explore the fascinating world of fashion and discover the stories behind the clothes we wear. The 1920s roared with a new kind of energy. World War I was over. Women were entering the workforce. A sense of freedom and rebellion filled the air, and fashion reflected this change. The flapper dress became an icon of the era. These dresses were short, straight, and often adorned with beads or fringe. They allowed women to move freely, dancing the Charleston the night away. Cloche hats, worn low on the forehead, completed the flapper look. Women also embraced shorter hairstyles, a stark contrast to the long locks of previous decades. Makeup became bolder, with dark lipstick and smoky eyes. The Roaring Twenties was a time of immense change. Fashion reflected this spirit of liberation and modernity. It was a celebration of youth, freedom, and a break from the past. The 1930s brought economic hardship with the Great Depression. Yet, amidst the challenges, Hollywood glamour offered a dazzling escape. Fashion reflected a more subdued elegance. Long, flowing gowns replaced the short hemlines of the 1920s. Bias-cut dresses, which draped beautifully on the body, were incredibly popular. They emphasized a woman's curves, creating a sense of feminine allure. Evening wear shimmered with luxurious fabrics like satin and silk. Accessories were simple yet chic, with long gloves and elegant jewelry adding a touch of sophistication. Though times were tough, the 1930s proved that elegance never goes out of style. Hollywood's influence brought a touch of glamour to everyday life, offering hope and escapism during a challenging era. World War II cast a long shadow over the 1940s. Fabric rationing and practical considerations influenced fashion trends. Yet, even amidst wartime austerity, style prevailed. Women's clothing became more utilitarian. Tailored suits with strong shoulders emerged as a symbol of women's contributions to the war effort. These suits were both practical and stylish, reflecting the strength and resilience of women during this time. The shortage of fabric led to shorter hemlines and simpler designs. Accessories were minimal, with headscarves and practical handbags replacing elaborate hats and purses. The 1940s demonstrated that practicality and style could go hand in hand. Women's fashion embraced a sense of purpose and strength, reflecting the spirit of the times. Section 5. The New Look and Rock and Roll. The 1950s. The 1950s ushered in a new era of prosperity and optimism. Christian Dior's new look revolutionized women's fashion. Gone were the practical styles of the war years, replaced by full skirts, cinched waists, and an emphasis on femininity. The hourglass silhouette became the defining look of the decade. Full skirts, often made with layers of tulle or petticoats, created a sense of drama and movement. Women embraced this ultra-feminine aesthetic. embracing elegance and glamour. Meanwhile, a new cultural force emerged: rock and roll. Teenagers began to embrace a more rebellious style, with poodle skirts, saddle shoes, and leather jackets becoming symbols of youthful rebellion. The 1950s was a decade of contrasts. The new look celebrated traditional femininity, while the rise of rock and roll introduced a rebellious edge to fashion. Section 6. Revolution in the air. The swinging 60s. Hold on to your go-go boots. The 1960s were a time of radical change. The youthquake hit the fashion world with a bang, shattering old rules and embracing bold new ideas. Miniskirts, a symbol of youthful liberation, became all the rage. The invention of pantyhose allowed women to wear these daringly short hemlines with confidence. Mod fashion, inspired by British youth culture, brought bold geometric patterns, bright colours, and A-line silhouettes. The hippie counterculture embraced a more relaxed Bohemian style. Flowing maxi dresses, tie-dye prints, and ethnic influences reflected a rejection of consumerism and a desire for peace and love. The 1960s proved that fashion could be a powerful form of self-expression. From the miniskirt to the maxi dress, this decade celebrated individuality and challenged traditional notions of beauty. Section 7. Bohemian Rhapsody, the 1970s. The 1970s were a melting pot of styles. Bohemian chic continued with flowing maxi dresses, peasant blouses, and earthy tones. Disco fashion embraced glitter, sequins, and anything that sparkled. Platform shoes added height, while jumpsuits offered a sleek alternative. Tracksuits, sneakers, and jeans became casual staples. The 1970s embraced self-expression, from bohemian chic to disco glamour. Section 8. Material girls and big shoulders, the 1980s. Get ready to party. The 1980s were all about excess. Bold colours, extravagant silhouettes, and rebellion defined this decade. Shoulder pads symbolized power and ambition. MTV brought new fashion icons into our homes. Madonna became a global trendsetter. Athleisure infiltrated everyday wardrobes. Neon colors, leggings, and oversized sweatshirts were staples. The bigger the hair, the better. The 1980s celebrated individuality and bold statements. From grunge to glam. The 1990s and 2000s. The 1990s reacted against 1980s excesses. Grunge, born from the underground music scene, dominated early 1990s fashion. Ripped jeans, oversized flannels, and combat boots defined this anti-fashion movement. The 2000s mixed trends like low-rise jeans and crop tops. Boho chic made a comeback with flowy skirts and peasant tops. Fast fashion made trends more accessible and disposable. From grunge to boho chic, these decades reflected diverse styles. Section 10. The New Millennium. Fashion in the 2010s and beyond. The 2010s witnessed a fusion of styles and a celebration of individuality. The rise of social media platforms like Instagram and Pinterest gave everyone a voice in the fashion world. The lines between high fashion and streetwear blurred. Athleisure continued to dominate, with sneakers and leggings becoming acceptable attire for almost any occasion. Bodycon dresses hugged curves, while oversized silhouettes offered a more relaxed alternative. Vintage and retro pieces were embraced, adding a touch of nostalgia to modern wardrobes. Sustainability and ethical fashion became increasingly important. Consumers began demanding transparency in the fashion industry, seeking out brands committed to ethical sourcing and production practices. The 2010s and beyond marked a new era in fashion, one defined by self-expression, inclusivity,